Good morning. Thank everybody for being with us this morning. We're here for a special occasion, a special day. I'm Tyler Harper, honored to be the 17th Commissioner of Agriculture for the great state of Georgia, and more specifically, happy to be a seventh-generation South Georgia farmer. So, understanding what we're doing today and the role that our farm dogs play in the agricultural economy. So we're here today to recognize and celebrate the contributions of two Georgia dogs specifically this morning, as well as their families and their operations. Farm dogs are a vital component of agriculture and farm families all across the state and play a vital role in agriculture success. And today gives us an awesome opportunity to recognize those contributions as well as recognize two special dogs today. We're joined this morning by a handful of folks. Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is with us. The second lady, Jan Jones, where somewhere, there she is, who is a advocate and a champion for companion animals all across this state. And I appreciate our work together, especially with the Department's Companion Animal Division. And Jan, thank you for what you do in that particular role. Thank you for being here. We're also joined by the special guest, the American Farm Bureau Federation Farm Dog of the Year, which is Skippy, and her owners Donald and Laura Adams. So we're glad to have Skippy with us this morning. We also have the American Farm Bureau Federation's People Choice Pup, Casper and his owner, John Werwill and John's family. So John, glad to have you with us. Thanks, Casper. Yep. Awesome. So just a little bit about Skippy and Casper in general. These award-winning pups have two very different stories. But both stories are very important and very vital, and they share a common theme. The unshakable bond and unconditional love between humans and a man's best friend, which has lasted for generations. Whether we're talking about our family pets or working dogs on the family farm, they are pets and partners, family members and friends, co-workers and companions with an unbreakable loyalty to their owners and their people. For our working dogs and our farm dogs, that bond often goes even deeper as they not only play a vital role with their family and keeping their family farm afloat, but are a significant and important part of the family as a whole. In many cases, they're the farmer's best employee, probably because they show up to work on time every day. They typically never complain about work, but definitely it's because of their unwavering commitment to their family and the job that each of our farm dogs do and the job that Skippy and Casper do every single day. The devotion shown, specifically talking about Casper for a second, by Casper to his family and his flock is a perfect example of that bond. Casper is a Great Pyrenees who plays a vital role in John's business, protecting their flock of sheep. In November of 2022, John's flock was attacked by 11 coyotes at their home just a few miles down the road here in Decatur, which is a perfect example of how agriculture is in the metro area as well, right, John? But over the course of 3 days, Casper killed 8 of the 11 coyotes, sustaining life-threatening injuries in defense of their flock and his owner. Casper was in bad shape, but after a long road to recovery and thanks to the incredible vet team at Lifeline, Casper made a full recovery. And we're incredibly grateful for Casper, John, and his family that they're able to be here with us today. So congratulations to Casper on receiving. Casper received over 100,000 votes from across the country to earn the recognition as the American Farm Bureau's People Choice Pup. So congratulations to Casper. Awesome. Skippy, which was named the Farm Dog of the Year, and her owners, Donald and Laura Adams, also have an incredible story as well. Donald and his son were feeding hay when the last bale of hay bounced the wrong way, breaking Donald's neck and unfortunately paralyzing him from the waist down. While Donald was at the Shepherd Spinal Hospital, the Adams were introduced to the Farm Dog, which supplies farm dogs to disabled farmers, and they were able to get Skippy through that program. Skippy has not only played a vital role in Donald's recovery process, but she has been an invaluable asset to the Adams family farm, allowing them to continue their operation despite incredible adversity. Skippy is truly that right-hand partner to Donald in his cattle operation. And I think Donald would tell you, and I know they're going to speak in just a minute, that he wouldn't be able to continue to do what he does every single day on his farm if it was not for Skippy. I think you can see that Donald has made a significant recovery since that accident, and we're very pleased that, Donald, you have made that recovery, and we're happy that Skippy's helping you and Laura on y'all's family farm every single day. We're honored to have these two incredible dogs with us, their families with us, to highlight the important role that farm dogs play in Georgia's agriculture community and the unshakable bond between humans and man's best friend. So, congratulations to the Farm Dog of the Year and the People's Choice Pup by American Farm Bureau. Let's give them a round of applause one more time. So at this time, just to make a few remarks, I'm going to flip the program over to the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Georgia and let him say a few words about the important role and the importance of being here today. So, Lieutenant Governor, glad to have you with us. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner. I was just coming over here to support. Be honest with you, my wife and the Commissioner have started a coalition here for animal health, animal well-being, and animal health, and I was never so excited. This has become a passion of hers, so therefore it's become a passion of mine, because y'all know happy wife, happy life, obviously. So, when Commissioner Harper and I were serving in the Senate together, I would always try to do some, either animal-related bills and things of that nature, and she would always tell me about what needed to be done, both in the companion world and the rescue world and everything else. And so when Commissioner got elected to the Commissioner role, I said, guess what? We got a good friend over in the Commissioner's office now. So that's right. You want to tackle these things, Tyler Harper is going to be the guy to get it done for you. So I appreciate the Commissioner and his hard work that he's doing with so many different things. But I also want to thank the Adams family and old Casper's family over here for being here today. These dogs are more than just pets. You can tell they're part of their family, and they are probably helped nurse Mr. Adams back to health after his a bad accident, and obviously Casper saved your flock of sheep there. So they obviously are more than just pets. They're become part of the family, and animal awareness is something I'm glad the Commissioner is tackling. And I want to thank all the House members for being here. We've got to mention that. Tyler, give them a round of applause. Even though Tyler and I served in the Senate together, we always said we had better friends in the House. I think this speaks volumes right here. So, but at any rate, so I appreciate these dogs representing Georgia very well and receiving the awards that they did through Farm Bureau, and just great day to celebrate them, and great day to celebrate the families, and thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, thank you,
Jan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to call on Miss Adams to come and say a few words on behalf of the Adams family, on behalf of Skippy. So, Miss Adams, come on forward.
Hello, I'm glad to be here. I'm honored to be here, and Skippy is glad to represent all the farm dogs and all the hardworking farmers in America. And to tell her story, he kind of stole a lot of my thunder about the bale of hay falling on my husband and breaking his neck, C5, C6, bent his spinal cord. And the spinal cord is the nervous system that communicates with the rest of the brain. So he was declared a quadriplegic. Obviously, he's made a miraculous recovery. But while we were at Shepherd's, which is in Atlanta, we were introduced to Agribility, a USDA-funded organization that helps farmers farm again. They introduced us to Farm Dog. And Farm Dog's motto is save a dog, save a farmer. And they don't just do herd dogs. They will do lab dogs for receiving. They will train the dog for whatever the farmer needs, basically. So in October 2022, we hit COVID. It got a long delay. It took us about 2 years to get Skippy. Don McKay from Iowa brought Skippy to us. He stayed 3 days, and this is the commitment of Farm Dog, to train her. Now the unique thing about Skippy, she was trained on goats and sheep and 5 cows. We have a cattle farm of 200. That's a lot of cows. So she went from 5 cows to 200. She has no problem taking the 40 cows and their babies out of the winter grazing. She had no problem when Don introduced her showing the bulls who was boss. And let me share another side of this that kind of goes along with this. And I want to quote something from the video. Farm Bureau produced a video that's on YouTube under Farm Dog of the Year. And the quote is, "If you stay and sit down in a chair, that's where you'll stay." So the example of this is what we call farm therapy. So the first year Donald got home from Shepherd's, we had to feed hay. Well, he couldn't climb on a tractor. Agribility got us a chairlift that would get him into the tractor and he could get over. The unique thing is at the end of hay season, his right hand was 3 times stronger than his left. We all know why. The controls are on the right side. So we call that farm therapy, and we actually realized that getting out and moving and doing the things was great therapy. You didn't have to go to a physical therapist. The other thing I believe is there's a misconception about herd dogs. All they do is herd. Skippy does so much more than that. She'll watch the gate. When the cows are going in and she's 20 foot ahead of you, she'll watch the gate when you tell her to watch so the cows don't come back out. Or you can tell her to watch the gate and you can go in and feed and not have to close the gate. She'll keep the cows away from you when you're feeding. She'll go into the messy, rainy places Georgia has that I don't want to go. And she learned a new skill with us. It's called tagging a calf. The first 4 or 5 times the mama bellowed when the tagger grabbed the calf, Skippy went the other way. After sitting in the range room watching it for a while, she figured out what was going on, and when the mama cow would come up too close to the tagger, she would jump out, get the cow to dance 10 foot away while the tagger could finish his job. And the last thing that I want to tell you about that is there was one incident where she actually did, I won't say save Donald's life, but kept him from getting hurt. And she did it without command. He was at the gate letting the cows out into the winter grazing. And the 40 cows and their calves started pushing on the gate. It's green grass, they want to go. And Skippy saw what was going on, ran around behind him and pushed all of them back. So now the rule is Skippy gets out first. Okay, there's one thing I want to share personally that I got out of all this. I worked in corporate America for HP, consultant and boardrooms for most of my career. I always say I traded the boardroom for a cow pen. And all of y'all know this because you're in agriculture, and I'm a little late to the party. But there is something special about getting out there every day, working the land, working with the cows, watching the sunsets. It's like it's what we were designed to do. And the last thing I want to share in summary is we keep the farm because we have a team. We have 3 children that help us on the weekend. We have a valued friend. And of course we have Skippy, our team member. Thank you.
Awesome. Really quick, so on behalf of the department, I know you've already got an award, but we want to present a commendation to Skippy and to the Adams family. So on behalf of the Department of Agriculture, this is a commendation for Skippy and his award. So thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. Awesome. Good deal. There's your other notes.
Oh, that one.
All right. And now, John and Casper, I'm going to flip it over to John. So, John, podium is yours. Yes, sir.
First thing I want to say is thank you. Really appreciate the invite.
Yes, sir.
Really appreciate what these dogs mean. It means a lot that Farm Bureau helped tell the story.
about Casper. It means a lot that Lifeline helped keep him alive.
Yes, sir.
We have other Great Pyrenees. They do their job just like Casper, not quite like Casper. They keep dogs away from the fence, and coexistence with coyotes pretty much ends at the fence when coyotes come in. But Casper had a different approach to all that. I don't know how to explain that, if he was just a little over-aggressive or what it was, but he's just had a great big heart the whole time. We could not do our job without these dogs. We have hundreds of sheep, and they are on 41 sites right now, all around Atlanta. And I cannot be at all of them every night, but my dogs can. I don't have 41 dogs. We do have a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Our sheep could not do what they do. We could not do as a business. We could not do urban agriculture here in Atlanta without the dogs. It just is not possible. There are too many coyotes. There are too many other predators that are a threat to the sheep. Quite honestly, there are a lot of people that are sometimes a threat to the sheep. The dogs keep all of those away, and they're just priceless to us. What happened with Casper is hard to talk about because it was terrible to watch. And it was even more terrible when he came home and was all torn up. But the response of the folks at Lifeline and all the friends who helped us get him better is just something we can't say thank you enough for. Casper loves nothing more than being in those, what did you call them, rainy, dirty places? Rainy, wet Georgia places. We get in those all the time too. In fact, that's why we do this. I spent 25 years plus as a pastor. So I can say, I'm certain this is what we're meant for. We're meant to do this kind of work. Agriculture is something that God intended for us from the very beginning, and it says so in the scriptures. So I'll say very clearly, after retiring as a pastor, there's nothing better in the world than being a farmer. How you do that with a quarter acre and a whole bunch of sheep, you have to be creative, right? Farmers have been creative for generations, for thousands of years, farmers have been figuring it out. It's a different set of questions and a different set of challenges in Atlanta with no land to be a shepherd than it is in South Georgia, right? Or than it is any other place. You have to deal with things like Casper barks a lot, and so do other Pyrenees. And there's noise ordinances. So you have to figure out how to deal with that, right? You have to deal with things like nobody really wants to kill coyotes, right? But we want to keep them away from our sheep, right? You have to deal with things like, kids who really think that it's a cool thing to pick a lamb out of a pasture, right? That lamb's not going to last if it doesn't get its milk, right? You've got to deal with those kind of things. You've got to deal with things like you really can't feed broccoli to sheep, but people like to do that, or cookies, or crackers. There's all those sort of things that you have to educate people about. You have to deal with things like animal rights groups that don't think sheep ought to be moved anywhere. All of that makes it a challenge. But it works over time if you just keep at it. And that's what I've tried to teach my kids most of all. It's why I love doing this, and I couldn't do it without the dogs. They know it. They get filthy, and then they dress up. Their friends have a really tough time figuring out why there's a bunch of animals on an animal trailer in the carpet. And that happens a lot, right? They didn't even know it was an animal trailer. They thought it was a shed. That's right. Right? Their friends can't understand that they know how to put a placenta back in, but they do. Their friends have never done eye surgery on a lamb on the kitchen table, but these girls have, right? Farm kids are special, and that's the reason we farm, because our kids can learn it, and our kids can be better people down the road. And that's why we're grateful. So thank you to y'all.
All
Thank you.
right.
We have the same thing for Casper.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you and appreciate Casper. Yes, sir. If you want to turn around right here, we'll get a graphic picture real quick. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, John, I don't think I could have closed it out any better than that. For both of y'all, to Skippy, the Adams family, John and Casper and your family and your kids, I think you hit the nail on the head about agriculture. It's those farm values that you learn and you grew up with, that you learn on the farm, and that our farm dogs can help us learn. So thank y'all for being here. Congratulations to both of you, to both Casper and to Skippy and both your families. We appreciate y'all. So thank you.